Hello! Today we're gonna make pasta, which requires, the spaghetti you're gonna use, 20 ounce of tomatoes, which we're gonna cut in half, 1 onion, which we're gonna need to slice but peel first. You could do 4 cloves of garlic, or I have this miced California garlic, and I'm just going to take a spoonful of that and add it in. And then you could either use parsley, or what was the other one? Basil. And we're going to use half a cup of this. And then you're going to need some sort of Parmesan cheese. You could either have fresh and grate it while to top it your pasta at the end. So when it's cooking, you could if you have fresh Parmesan, you could grate it while it's boiling. And then we are going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper. And that looks like it. And then some salt and pepper to add while you're cooking your pasta. So we have a big pan. You're going to need a big pan because the amount of water. Because I have set over here. Because the amount of water we're going to need is 4 cups and a half, which is a lot. So make sure you got a big pan that has tall sides. And make sure it's something you can easily stir in. So in my opinion, better to get a big pan than a small one because a small one could make a big mess. So yeah. So we're going to add our spaghetti. Here I have a pound of spaghetti. I'm just going to add it. Just going to nicely put this in. There. And then for mine, it needs to be cooked for 10 to 12 minutes. Oh, there's still spaghetti in here. But before you cook it, we'll have to put all of our ingredients. So we'll do that right now. So we'll cut up, let's see, how many tomatoes is this? So we'll use about half of these tomatoes. Or everything. Never mind. My mom told me to use everything, so we'll use everything. More nutrients for us. Also, the tomatoes added so much flavor, but I've made this recipe before. And the tomatoes, they become much smaller once you start cooking. So actually, the more tomatoes you add, the better. Because then more servings will have tomatoes in them. So we're just going to cut all these up. And I'm just cutting them in half down the middle, lengthwise. So vertical. And I just realized how much tomatoes there are in this, but yeah. So according to the box, it actually has 24 ounces of tomato, but that's all right because they're gonna be so delicious that it's fine that we'll have more. There's a baby tomato. lot more tomatoes than I thought it would be, but that's fine. Ow. Okay, did not cut myself. I'm getting a decent amount of it, but still have a lot to go. I think we've done a quarter of it. So yeah. Just try and grab a handful here to hopefully make it go quicker. Oh. There. Okay. Yeah, be careful with knives. So yeah. Sorry if there's an echo, don't know where that's coming from, but I can just hear it in my house. So yeah. Oh, there's like a dried up tomato that we're not going to use, and then there's another one. Okay. While we're cutting up these tomatoes, I guess we could talk about summer, because I have around a little over a month left before I have to go back to school. And what I've been doing for the first month, basically, it hasn't even been a full month actually of summer for me, because I graduated June 3rd, and I got back home like June 4th, like really late at night. So starting like tomorrow is technically a month of summer for me has gone by, and I've just been trying to keep busy, trying not to be on electronics so much, but then again, there isn't school. So what I've been doing to make sure I wake up early, like 6:30 or 7, is alternating from having like Pilates and tennis and then running some mornings. Has it been successful? The days where I actually have to like go to Pilates and tennis, those days are successful because I actually have to leave my house and it requires other people's time, so it's not just my own. But the days where I don't have either of them and I decide to run, those days I tend to sleep in. Like today and yesterday I slept until like 10. But then because I wake up so early, I tend to go to sleep around 10 or 11 to make sure I'm getting like my proper amount of sleep. And also for me, I don't really like staying up a lot when the sun goes down. So yeah. So like for us, where I'm living, the sky tends to be dark starting around 9ish. And yeah. So that works out great for me then. And then once I'm done with like my morning routine, like after tennis, Pilates, or I decide to go for a run, then that's when I have breakfast because I don't like to work out with. I like to work out with an empty stomach, especially since it's early in the morning. So it's, for me at least, it's fine if I don't have breakfast right away. So I tend to have some sort of food around like 9 a.m., maybe 10 the latest, depending how long tennis goes, but that's only like twice a week. So yeah. For me, it works out. It may not work out for everyone, but that's just how my schedule is, and yeah. Okay, we got like a quarter left of tomatoes. And then what I do basically after I eat, well, I tend to sometimes shower before I eat, so after I do that, and I'm all settled, and then I tend to help my brother with his summer work. And then I do my own work as well. I'm going to put some of these tomatoes in right now because it's making a pile over here. Try to put some on that side. Okay. There's so much seeds on this cutting board. That's wow. Oh, another dried up tomato. Take out some more tomatoes. We're almost done with them. So yeah. I try to use my time wisely every day. But then again, I'm still a teenager. So yeah. And it's okay because to me it's still effective days, so that's good. Although every day I do play the piano for a bit, some days longer than others, and my mom really appreciates that. So yeah. And I try to run every day, but then again, it depends. Yeah. But this summer we're not really traveling, mainly because my brother's baseball team has a lot of games during the summer, so it's kind of difficult to work around those days because they typically happen on the weekends, and during the weekdays is when I'm the most busiest in the morning. So yeah. Not really sure what else there is to talk about. Got an eighth of tomatoes to go, it looks like. And then we're going to need to clean this cutting board so when we cut the onions, there wouldn't be tomato juice everywhere. Probably should have cut the onions first, but that's okay. Yeah, that's all. There, the last of our tomatoes. Just gonna put them straight through, straight in, straight through. Three more left. Okay. Last tomato. Now I need to put this in the sink. Put this away. Grab a paper towel and just take off all the tomato juice. I'm gonna need to grab another one. Okay. So, like I said earlier, next what we're gonna cut are the onions, which we probably should have done first, but that's alright. So we're going to take one onion. Oh, I got tomato on me. We're going to cut it in half. Oh wait, we forgot to peel it. Going to put the scraps in my scrap bowl that we tend to either use as compost, so we'll put it in our garden. Cut this off. And it's okay if you don't peel off the onion like perfectly. Because it's just honestly kind of hard. Depending on the onion you have. And we're having like white onions or yellow onions. Basically the ones that look white. So, yeah. Because when I was buying these at the store, the label was yellow, but they look white. So, similar thing. Cut that off. Okay. We got the skin off. And now I'm going to cut it in half. Got two halves, and now we're just going to make the lines. This reminds me of elementary school because we had cooking class in elementary school, middle school, or junior high, depending where you're from. In 8th grade, I decided to take cooking for the 3rd year. And I remember we learned how to cut onions. So that was fun. got half of it done. And now we got the other half to do. Eyes slightly watering, but okay. We got our onions chopped with successfully not having teary eyes. Dropped a little bit, that's okay. Get these right here. So I dropped an onion on the floor on accident. There. And go like this. And gonna wash the cutting board a little bit. And move it to the side to get that. And then we're going to clean up the mess I made with the onions. And a little bit with the tomatoes. I'm just going to pick up these extra onions that fell and didn't make it in. Throw those away. Okay. Now that we're done with the cutting, we could put in 1 scoop of garlic, or you could put 4 cloves of garlic, depending on what type of. And there goes my dog. Depending on what type of garlic you have. Wow, this smells really good. So yeah, so we're going to do about a spoon. I might put in a little more. This actually just smells really good. Okay, so there's our garlic. We're gonna put half a cup of parsley or basil, depending on what you have, or what you decide to use. Okay, that's about a cup. Gonna make it like that. And then the last thing we need before we start boiling, besides the water, we're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of red pepper, and we're gonna put a tiny bit more. And now it's time to move this to the stove. Before we put on the stove, we are gonna put our 4 cups and 1 cup and half of a cup of water into our pan. Then we're gonna put our temperature on high. And it'll take about 2 minutes for the water to boil. It may vary, but once it starts boiling, then you're gonna want to put on your timer for me, it'll be 10 minutes, but it might be 11, depending on what your box says. And that's how long you need to cook your spaghetti. And right now I'm going to end it, and I'll come back when the spaghetti is done. But when your spaghetti is done and you have it plated, that's when you can add your Parmesan cheese. And during this time, while the water is boiling, you can grate your cheese. And that's basically it. So make sure you put in all your water, then turn on your temperature and let it get to boiling point, and then put on the timer for how long your box says to boil your pasta. And then we'll be back, and we'll see y'all when the pasta is done cooking. So yeah.